Welcome to 2023, baby dolls. You've gained a new friend. Me. All right. Let's talk about hex clones. You need to understand why hex goes up so you can avoid hex clones and not be fooled. You got to understand what is the innovation behind something so you don't make the mistake. Because you might confuse marketing of one with marketing of the other and you can get wrecked. Just like with Bitcoin clones, all right? So there's a new coin coming out. I've heard it from a few places, Genius token. And coincidentally, I started researching it and it appeared on my YouTube, right? And I was just listening. I watch this video now and you can automatically see, okay? When you see this, I want you to think this is red flag straight away. Superior products to HEX. This is red flag, okay? Anything that says this, they are doing affinity marketing. So it's like, okay, I have a similar characteristic to something else. Now, HEX did the same, right? HEX said we're a better Bitcoin. But you're going to find out why HEX is not the rule. It was the exception, all right? We're going to find that out. So automatically, alarms go off. You're like, okay, superior product. Because I want to know why it's superior. Because in 99% of the cases, it's not the thing we're looking for that makes it superior, all right? So I go through the video. I've watched it from Crypto Talk. I'm subscribed. And, okay, first, I want you to understand. So this is what, let's go through it with me. You're going to learn something. I'm just going to walk you through, right? So, firstly, this is too dark, all right? Way too dark. Too dark, right? We're just writing this here.
Once again with another.
Writing this right here. So this is like really important. You think, oh, this has nothing to do with anything. No, it's got everything to do with everything, all right? It has everything to do with everything. The marketing automatically does not draw me in. That's the first thing I noticed. Because think about the type of people who buy HEX. They want something simple logo, simple concept, one ticker, one unity, simple certificate deposit. You stake it, you earn interest, okay? You got to get into the mindset of people. This is how you get an edge in the market. This is why I can see stuff that other people can't see. Many people are too smart for their own good. They have 150 IQ and they're trying to like overcomplicate complex DeFi stuff, but they can't. They are not the average man or woman. I am. That's why I'm a man of the people. We can get through this when we start to think like everyone else. This is too dark. And it's very, very important to go through this. What do you see here? You see like these polygons and stuff, right? It's kind of like showing, ooh, something complex is going on, right? And here we have Genius, the first hyper yield AI-driven blockchain certificate of deposit, right? So it's just, they just took HEX, they just copy-pasted, right? So when you see hyper yield, I know, you're just going to think Ponzi straight away. That's all they are, man. They're paying inflation tokens into themselves. But the code is not the innovation. That's not the innovation, all right? The innovation is the thing that you can't replicate. And that's the community. And I always say this in crypto, all right? You have to remember this. I might be dead tomorrow, but I will live on through this message. In crypto, the community is the asset, not the code. So, you're going to probably find out so many negative things about this, but you can actually still play it, okay? You can still play it. So, we go through this movie, right? So, we go through the founder. They're going to have a founder. This guy's name is Robert as well. They say he's very smart. He's some OG. Look, everyone is this. Every single person's an OG. Everyone's been in crypto forever. Everything. It's like, it's never a weird unknown guy who can't do anything is releasing something. Like, it's never that, you know? So just think to yourself. So we're not judging. It's not good or bad. It's just, there's no informational edge here, all right? So we're going to go through next, all right? We go through the comments and, you know, I'm not even fully in tune with how this works, but they're all these things have the same concept. Buy the coin and get the yield somehow, get a reward somehow. That's it. All right. So we don't need to complicate it. I can see these See, you can already see these key terms. Create a miner, which is probably just inflation. That's what it is, right? You're mining, but it's not like Bitcoin where you actually got to physically buy something. Just lock it up. And remember, you have to be skeptical with these, friends, because yes, HEX went up, and Doge went up, and SHIB went up. But you know also what didn't go up? 9,999 other coins, all right? So this is always something to consider. So they're probably going to work with locking up and auctioning. You can buy probably yields. Like you can already suss out what's going on, right? You can already mining, right? So you can already feel that it's the same thing. They just dress it up differently. They've thrown AI into it just to try capture a narrative, to try see if it's cool or not, to capture people, all right? So these little Dexy thing, yeah, you deposit. I'm walking through this for the first time with this, just going through and have a look at this. You deposit, I think it's on different chains. Yeah, you can start to see, man, because Zen came out, vultured HEX. Now these other communities are coming out. They're going to see, you've even noticed here, see the original HEX clones, they were just purely HEX clone. But now they're like throwing in NFTs in them, and like they're trying different mousetraps. So on the surface, you'll look at this and go, oh my God, HEX will lose its edge because someone else will come and tweak some settings and find a better way to give you yield. And it's not going to happen. Do you want to know why? Because tokenomics itself is not enough to get you up. All right. Tokenomics refers to the supply. Has nothing to do with the demand side of the equation. All right. So a coin will go down over time because the supply is not in check, right? But that doesn't cover the up part, right? So we need, so yeah, whoop-de-doo, we can stop, instead of something going down like this, maybe with good supply, tokenomics, you make it go down like this, right? Maybe with good supply, but now you're automatically going to ask, all right, what about the going up part? Well, this is the miracle of why entrepreneurs do what they do in society. Because this up part is what we're all here for. We are in crypto because Bitcoin, right, was created, Genesis, and people actually continue to put value into a decentralized blockchain and crypto on the internet. So this is the most mind-blowing thing at all. We're like, whoa, there is untapped demand here. Like, whoa. Like, everyone thinks slow down, right? So we have to go deep, man, to understand why these things go up. So you can have the best tokenomics in the world. You're still going down, So yes, okay, maybe you don't go down to 0 tomorrow, but you go down to 0 in 2 years or 1 year. You still go down to 0, right? But what about the going up part? That's what we're here for, the going up part. So we're going to understand. So why I automatically look at the marketing and I see this AI word is I'm trying to measure, can this go up here? Or is it going to just have some degenerates and fizzle? That's what we're trying to assess. If you can figure out and find something that gets the nuclear run, you're going to be really well off, right? But that's why I'm the number one most trusted source and you're listening to me, all right? So let's go through HEX. Because this is the gold standard now, right? HEX. Go to YouTube. HEX streamers. HEX logos. HEX cars. HEX believers. HEX everything, all right? It's its own subculture. So it broke away from the Bitcoin idea and it's around, So if you're coming to this for information on what is the golden tokenomics, because we just looked at Genius, right? What are the golden tokenomics to make sure something pumps, Unfortunately, there are no golden tokenomics to make something pump, as we discussed just then, right? There are only golden tokenomics that increase your chances of staying away from 0 and keeping afloat for more US dollars around the world to circulate, come into crypto, and pump you back up. By the way, it's the same with stocks, right? Stocks. It's just different principles. But it's the same concept, right? So with HEX, I don't have all the facts, but I need you to assume you will never get all the facts. Because this is how I invest. This is how I make decisions. You're listening to me because you want high value. So you want to get inside my brain, okay? And I'm trying to flesh this out to you because You're out there and you're struggling and you want to learn. And maybe if you learn, we learn together, because you might see something that I don't see. Because there's over 20,000 coins, man. There's going to be a lot of crap we're going to go through. All right. Now, what made HEX go up? It wasn't the tokenomics. All right. It was the marketing of the tokenomics that helped it go up. But I'm going to assume that this part was just Richard Hart. And I'm also going to assume this part was Richard Hart, and then this part, and then the final part, all right? Whether it's true or not, I don't care. I don't care if it's not. I need you to understand that you must invest with this concept in mind, all right? You have to invest assuming that HEX only went up because Richard Hart pumped it, all right? And you have to also assume that the reason why it's still up from day one, right? I don't do this. Remember, I do not like doing this bottom to top crap. That's bullshit. Don't ever do that. You're not going to get that, all right? I'll do day one, top of this candle, all right? Because I want you to get an average price. It's still up from day one, 62x, okay? Up the top, it's 1,662x. Yeah, so it's 62x, all right? Or is that 100? Yeah. Damn, 1,662x up here. That's crazy, man. You know. So up here, down here, we're still down 64x. Obviously, he didn't sell everything. Obviously. But you have to assume that because it's still up, he was the one who pushed it up. And why we are going through this concept is now we go back to Genius, and you say, you're looking at all these, you know, we're looking at all these concepts like, oh, yielding and mining, and it's a better HEX, better than HEX, superior. You have to be very skeptical, because why was HEX a miracle? HEX was a miracle because Richard Hart exists. HEX is a miracle because Richard Hart said, I'm going to pump the living poop out of this coin, and I'm going to show you that if you stake and lock up your coins and you delay gratification and you stop trading and you stop participating in this trash and getting wrecked, if you stop doing that, right? If you stop doing that, you will be rewarded from me. But I'm not going to explicitly tell you I will buy $50 million worth from my profits. I'm not going to tell you that, because I'm only going to attract scum. This is the ultimate principle, the core belief of HEX. You do not know this by watching YouTube influencers, the main channels, reading Binance blogs, trying to FUD this out. You don't know this. All they do is they go, oh, wow, let me put a linear chart. Oh, wow, it's going down like everything else. Yeah, but that doesn't teach you anything. What does that teach you? Everything's got the same chart. Who cares? Chainlink's got this chart, man. Doge's got this chart. Everything's got this chart. Everything got absolutely annihilated. Everything's a scam. Facebook's got this chart. Amazon's starting to do this chart. Tesla's got this chart. Everything's a scam, right? So you learn nothing from that, because we have to go back in time. If you just saw this chart appear, you had no idea this thing was gonna like give you 1,600x from day one here. You had no idea. So that's why I'm saying you just got to assume all of these pumps were Richard Hart. You have to assume that. And I am being conservative here, because if you just believe that, then now you can actually assess the world more simple, and you can actually make a decision in the future. So now you have Genius, right? Let's write it down. Genius coin. I'm a genius. All right, that's cool. So Genius coin. Now you have to outline two worlds. You have to now try to assess the probabilities of something occurring, okay? It's not just go up or go down, all right? It's in the world where Genius coin goes up, all right, did it go up by the founder, Robert, buying, right? So I'm going to use dollar signs here. Did it go up from him buying, or did it go up from BTC? I'll draw a B. Let's write this down. BTC plus ETH plus HEX pumps. Right. Did it go? So here we go. There we go. I want you to assess this now, because this is the gold standard. Robert founder pumping. This is Now we're getting to the critical moments of what makes coins go up. All right. So this is what we're going to assess. So I've come across a HEX clone out of the nowhere. Literally just started hearing about it yesterday. I'm like, okay, how do I assess this? You know, we've gone through the website. We've seen everything. What is the type of synergy we can attribute to it going up or down? And I've actually taken just the up case here so far, right? So in the case it goes up, did it go up from the coattails of Bitcoin, Ethereum, HEX? Or did it go up from the founder pumping? This is the hard part. This is why crypto is so risky. But this is also why we get huge rewards. We don't know what he's going to do. I don't even know how much money this guy has. I don't even know if this guy even thinks about buying a coin or not. I don't know, right? And before HEX existed, it was the same thing with Richard Hart. You did not know he was going to do this, man. You didn't know he was going to do it like this. And you did not in your wildest dreams actually think he was going to fulfill his promises up here, right? You didn't think. So that's why you got to take a bet. You got to take an educated bet. So, you know, many people, you're listening to this thinking, all right, it's very weird. You kind of pooped on a coin and you still haven't said, don't buy, don't buy, don't buy. I don't like that game. I don't like that game. The more you participate, the more you will learn. But you just got to allocate risk accordingly. So what I would do, right? I don't even know if this coin's out. Maybe it's out. I don't know how it works. Maybe it's too complicated. But let's say it just has a ticker on Uniswap, yeah? Because we're in a bear market and everything's down. Now we're going to get to strategy. This is the most important part, all right? Actually, everything I've said is the most important part. You miss one part, you're screwed. So let's get to strategy. So what you will do, let's say you have a HEX allocation, right? I would take this out of the HEX allocation, okay? Because I think HEX is going to go up from ETH. You're betting on the allocation going up, riding on coattails of HEX. You probably have more HEX, more ETH, more BTC than the average person, but as well as that, you probably got more HEX. If the type of person to buy this probably has more HEX, right? Allocation than BTC and ETH. So let's go to your strategy. So you will take, okay, first thing. So HEX, you can stake it short term. You earn about 9.5% yield per year, all right? 9.5%. So if you divide that by 2, it's about 4 or 5%. Let's just say it's 5% per year. For 6 months yield, right? Now it's going down over time, but that's what it is right now. What I will do is, so you will take your 100, let's say you had 100,000 HEX, you know? You will take your 100,000 HEX and shave off 6 months yield. That's what I will do, okay? You can choose 3 months, by the way. I'll write 3 or 6 months yield, i.e., remember you're getting, in 6 months you get 5,000 HEX interest, roughly. So, i.e., either 2,500 HEX or 5,000 HEX. That's your bullet. This is your bullet. All right? So this is what you do. So you had 100,000 HEX allocation. So if you are not going all in this highly experimental thing, you're not going all in at all. Completely the opposite. All you're doing is you're saying, all right, I am taking 3 months or 6 months inflation yield from my HEX, right? So let's say you have 100,000 HEX today, you want to allocate it. Take off 2,500 HEX or 5,000 HEX, and then you put it in, and you'll wait. And you'll stake the HEX, you make back your 100,000 in 5 or 6 months. You're back to the same thing, right? You're back to the same number in 5 or 6 months. So your strategy, your hope in this is, so there's going to be two worlds, okay? Coin goes to 0 automatically. That's the first world. Coin goes to 0. Let's just put this here. Coin can go to 0 automatically. What did you lose? What did you lose if the coin goes to 0? If Genius goes to 0, we lost. We lost 3 or 6 months of yield. And that's it. All right? You lost some time staking. So you can be like a negative Nancy. Well, positive, you kept 100% of your HEX. Nominal, right? So nominal just means like your the absolute value, right? So the absolute value without inflation. that's being paid, right? So, you know, I shouldn't even remove this. Doesn't really matter, right? No one's going to really care. So you kept 100% of your HEX. You only lost some yield. And what about the upside? The upside, this is where you can throw any number out there, right? Some people like to just use, you can do 100x, 1000x. I don't like thinking of it like that, right? So really all you've done, let's say you risked 2.5% of your HEX. Yeah. So you might get, 10% plus 10%. That's 4x. That's 4x on your HEX. Not US dollar value, 4x on your HEX. Or let's say 25%, 10x. Pretty cool, right? If that happens. If this happens, that's your win. So this is like another way to earn yield on your HEX, really, when you think about it. Because you're just doing very rational, logical portfolio management. And if there's other Ponzi scam clones that come along too, all right, you don't have to do 6 months yield to just one, do 1 month yield across 6. You never know, man. You just never know. Maybe one of them has a run. Like, look what happened to Zen, right? Now, Zen's hyperinflationary, but imagine it wasn't. And it had like a Zen NFT run. It went up plus 150%. Maybe in another world, you're going to be in a coin that goes up plus 350% next year, while HEX is going sideways, So you can only participate in these if you have your mind open. So this is how to actually play these. It's not to go all in. It's not to throw anything, not to do a big chunk. It's just, you're participating with the same concept just in case something runs, right? And this idea stems from something very simple that started with Bitcoin. If you had Bitcoin back in the day and then you saw the Ethereum ICO along with like 20 other ICOs, you're probably like, all right, I'm going to take, 10% of my Bitcoin and I'm going to go through 20 ICOs, 0.5% each. So 0.5% to ETH, all these other ones that happen. And you go, screw it. Maybe some of them go up like you wouldn't imagine. A lot of them went up, 10, 20, 30, 50x on your Bitcoin from the ICO from the very, very beginning. Many of them did back then. Hopefully we get those gains again, but the returns are diminishing. So you can see this game works for everything. It works for everything. And now you understand this is how we would play this. And we're going to keep our minds open because maybe it's not this one. Maybe this one sucks. But eventually someone's going to like con people and do something, And it's very hard, ultimately, to be in my shoes here and tell you this information because I know these things are unsustainable long term. You are fighting your brain. You're like, oh man, it's like crossing a bridge that is going to break in 10 years, but you're crossing it today because it's not 10 years from now. You get what I mean? So I know these things are unsustainable. Like I knew Olympus DAO was a Ponzi. I knew it was a Ponzi. All right? I did not get on the ground level, but man, I was participating in some stuff because I just knew deep down, damn, it's unsustainable. There's no one to back this stuff, right? The beautiful thing is, at least with HEX, you got this. Richard Hart is the central bank here, the buyer of last resort, And hey, if you are too scared to invest this way, skip ahead. I'm just saying I understand this, so I invest with this. If you don't understand this, you don't like this, you can go elsewhere. If you are happy with, say, Bitcoin's diminished returns and money pouring in and the prospects of pension funds coming in, if you are okay with that, that's okay. But you have to understand, the more safe you feel means the less returns you're going to get because you're getting smarter people. All right? You're getting smarter people with like less marginal FOMO buying slowly over time. That's what's happening. All right? This is the ultimate FOMO buy. So yeah, why would Genius or whatever the coin you're going to buy, why would it even go 10 or 20 or 30x? Why would it even do that? It's because unfortunately people aren't listening to my tweets and my YouTube because I'm saying the community is the asset, man, not the code. The code doesn't matter to an extent. It just remember, what do we go through at the start, all right? The code just helps with this dump part, all right? It just stops it. You can modify it instead of dumping to 0 in like 1 year or like 1 month, you can dump it to 0 over like 24 months. But the demand part, that's the community, man. That's the community. So this part rising, that's what the community is going to be the base support for that. That's why something like HEX has a higher chance of rebounding, right? Higher chance of rebounding than other coins you just get abandoned. So when you see FUD about a coin, and the community is still there, you should be running into it and go, wow, these guys are still here. I wonder how much pain they can take. The ultimate stab in the face for a crypto coin is that you become irrelevant and you fade into existence. All right, it hurts when you hold a coin and people are like, scam, dumb, it's stupid, it's going down. It hurts to hear that, but you got to remember you're winning because you're still relevant. All right, your ticker symbol, your logo, the name, people know you. People are still in the circle. They're like, there's a fire. There's a fire and everyone's like circling around it, and everyone's like, burn. And here's like, the fire extinguishers. They're trying to put the hose out. Okay, but they're watching it burn. And once it stops burning, they come back into the building. I promise you. This is what no one believes. That's what no one believes. Once there's a fire and everyone puts the fire out, yes, no one wants to go into the building tomorrow. But in 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, people will go back into the building. They will. They will go back into this building, I promise you. And right now, a lot of crypto buildings are on fire. And we're hoping like, man, I think the fire's, it's about time it gets put out now, right? So this is such an important concept. So I'm glad you're able to go through this journey of me of discovering this. I will never write anything off. And that's how I even found, say, HEX in the first place, all right? So we're going to keep searching. We're going to keep hunting because there's plenty of more of these things to come. Until next time, friends, I love you all.